How many times have we seen Gamers Nexus go all Woodward and Bernstein on somebody like Newegg and get them to change their practices with like RMAs and stuff like that? I'm pretty sure that the person who answered this question was sitting on a toilet. All right, our final story. This one I have a lot to say about, so I want to save up some time for it. Microsoft cuts Windows 10 support, and this will start in 2025, which could turn 240 million personal computers into trash and e-waste. And then they include Goldmine, which I for some, maybe. Businesses may find Microsoft's newer operating system won't run on old PCs, but don't toss them in the trash. Now, Inc. here is clearly trying to throw in an upside. Some of the articles I found were basically just spouting doom and gloom about this. My big question, what PC can run 10 but can't run 11?
So, you want to hear some interesting numbers? Because I actually searched this.
Okay, I did too, so go.
It said it won't run on older 32-bit computers. The last 32-bit computer was made in 2002.
Okay.
So the last, and that was the Pentium 4. The last one was shipped in 2008. So who, like you said, who's still running these computers? This would have to be factory computers, running older equipment, running that they've had this program on there for so long that it's just never been a need to update the computer. But realistically, a 2002 computer.
The other requirement that I noticed is that you need a CPU that is at least 2 cores and runs higher than a gigahertz. I guess the first 2-core piece Intel chip that came out was the Intel Core Duo in 2005, 2006. So this would seem to imply that people are still running computers and 250 million. So they're saying enterprise level, large companies that are using, hundreds and thousands of computers are going to have to dump them all. So insurance companies, governments, I don't know. I'm just trying to think of big companies that would have that many old PCs still running important work. I don't see it.
Yeah, I'm struggling to find where they're finding all these people that have these still.
Right. This whole thing is rooted in a report from Canalys, it's right here, research from December of last year. And their report and their blog post about this just does the same gloom and doom, sky is falling, 250 million computers thing. And I emailed them asking about the authors of that report, being like, where's the data on this? If it is 250 million, great. I haven't heard back yet, if I will at all, but that's what I want to know, because I'll be honest, e-waste is a big issue for me. I get scared, the GPU wars, the CPU wars now, the APU wars that are starting. I get freaked out every time it gets faster and faster, and you buy a CPU this year and next year it's old news and everyone wants the newest darn thing. I've seen videos from Linus Tech Tips where they're like, we're running out of sand to make CPUs. And the e-waste issue, you don't hear much talked about. And that, I feel like there should be pipelines, companies should have to at least put together a plan for, hey, we're creating this product, we're putting it out into the world. When its life cycle ends, here's what you should do with it. I'm not saying they should facilitate the recycle efforts, but they should be this is how it can be, they should have a whole sustainability plan for each product that they're releasing.
Yeah, and I would like to see what they would be able to take the old architecture and an old product, and how much they could recycle that into a new product. Kind of
they want to.
It is. Do what?
You'd think they'd want to, because if people turn that stuff back in, okay, we can take the gold, or I don't know what all the components are, but what can they salvage from it and then roll into the next generation? Would that cut down on raw material cost and things like that? Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of people used to collect. I mean, people still collect cans, but we're old enough to see the cash for clunkers to where you're getting X amount. So what's to say they wouldn't do an initiative for e-waste? But there has to be something done with it, because the Texas size floating landfill that's, out in the ocean, this is going to be a huge impact on that if that's their only option.
I agree. So I actually presented this question to someone who I thought would have way more information than me. I was watching Linus Tech Tips WAN show last Friday on the 29th, and asked them, like, hey, I said, old PC tech seems to be piling up everywhere. Aside from recycling efforts, what trends and uses could you, the creators like LTT and others, and subject matter experts, promote to curb e-waste buildup? Because basically I'm like, you guys think about tech all day long. You've got to have some idea of like what you think would be a good idea. And the response I got was interesting. Education and repair, I guess. Not like companies make it possible, so it starts from them.
Not my problem.
This
is all I get from that.
This ticks me off a lot. I would not be sitting here with you right now. I would not be involved in anything PC related if it weren't for LTT, Jayztwocents, Gamers Nexus. Like, these creators suck people in and make, like, I was a 41-year-old computer noob who hadn't touched a PC since like 1999 for like gaming purposes. These guys got me excited about it and brought me back in. They clearly have a vested interest in these companies producing something new all the time so they can review something new and they're excited about it. Linus himself is a big advocate of reducing e-waste. Like, he personally is invested in a company called, it's a laptop company. I can't remember the name of it, but it's a modular laptop. You can basically literally pull your GPU out and put a new one in. You can pull out your USB ports and pop new ones in. Framework, I think it's called. And okay. It's a great way to like reduce e-waste by not having to buy a new laptop all the time. You just replace the parts you want or upgrade them. That's great. But I do think they bear some responsibility for increasing the popularity of something, but then not, having an idea of like, all right, how can we also increase the sustainability of it? Well, what ideas do we have? You have this old PC lying around. I just bought a $40 Optiplex sitting on my floor over here that I'm turning into an arcade machine. Because I'm like, what else are you going to do with a, 4th gen Intel chip sitting in an old office PC? All right, do that. I find this answer to be a little sort of like, meh, we're fanning the flame, but we're not going to help, control the fire. That's on the companies. And I do agree.
I agree. If that's your response, it really tells all your viewers and followers, like, if they don't care about it, why should I? It's just like I said, it's not my problem. If the companies can't do it themselves, why should I worry about it? And Linus and their company with 14, 15 million viewers, however many they've got on YouTube right now, it's like that's just an odd response from his team.
I agree.
Which he has nothing to say about it. It's strictly his media team that's watching it. But it is one of those things. And whenever he's streaming the WAN show, it's probably a few thousand people watching, tuning in. But it just seems odd that that's how they would respond.
Yeah, I know for a fact, or I'm pretty sure that the person who answered this question was sitting on a toilet. Because they showed him on camera at one point. They were doing a WAN show out of a house, not their normal studio. Linus did not address this question directly at all. I was hoping that they'd present it to him, but they didn't. But putting the onus on the company, I do think the companies do need to share a hand in it. I do think it's on us to be responsible with our e-waste. But this is a industry where there's a unique opportunity for people like, LTT to promote those sustainability features and maybe even put pressure on those companies. How many times have we seen Gamers Nexus go all Woodward and Bernstein on somebody like Newegg and get them to change their practices with like RMAs and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
they know they have influence. This is something that I think would be great to exert said influence on. So,
Yeah, and I didn't think about it until just kind of looking at this, but it talks about how business leaders may dread PC changeover. Some entrepreneurs see e-waste as a golden opportunity. So they talk about these numbers, but it's strictly from Americans disposing of smartphones. That's 344 million in gold, 460 million in silver, 10 million in copper. So if you think, how many times have you gotten a new phone? And obviously they're going to refurbish it, but you get a new phone and they give you X amount that they're going to put toward your next phone.
right.
So what's to say you couldn't have a PC, e-waste, save whatever, you get a $50 Best Buy gift card, whatever it may be, to where it's like, cool, this can go toward my next Micro Center purchase. This can go, because I'm upgrading everything anyways. Why not continue to send it back to them? They melt it all down. They put it into new chips. They recycle everything as close to neutral as possible for the next generation.
Completely agree. It's crazy. I've only been involved and passionate about this for like 2 years. People have been in this for a while. I imagine they've been seeing this wave of e-waste headed their direction.